Alright, how's it going everybody? This is Patrick from Face the Music, and we're doing a really simple, quick, easy drum video today. What I wanted to do today is walk you guys through a warm-up routine. This is something that you can use to get your hands warmed up every time you sit down to play. If you're on a gig, you can do this just kind of get everything flowing, get your hands under you, all that kind of stuff. Just something to get you ready to go. Alright, so now before we get into the actual exercise, I wanted to talk a little bit about grip. Because every time I get a new student, especially somebody that's been playing for a while, maybe they taught themselves, all of the problems that I see come from how they're holding the sticks. So I wanted to just spend a little bit of time and talk about that. This is the thing that I see all the time. I don't understand what it is about this that makes it so comfortable, but the finger alongside of the stick, this is totally useless. I can't do anything with that at all, because I'm actually preventing the stick from rebounding. That's all I get. So what you want to do is find what's called the balancing point on the stick. And that's the point where the stick feels like it wants to move. It'll bounce as much and as freely as it can. Okay? If I'm not doing anything to impede the movement of the stick, it would just keep on spinning and hit the wall behind me. Okay? So that's what we want. We want a stick that'll bounce as much as possible, because that rebound, that reaction, is actually half of your stroke. I don't move the stick up off the head of the drum. The stick bounces and it returns to this flat orientation. So, how do you find that? Well, everybody's hands are different. Sticks are all different sizes and weights. In general, if you're holding the stick too far back, it'll bounce a little bit, but it won't really do anything. If you're holding it too far forward, it just dies. So you want to find that point kind of halfway between. Usually, you'll get a little bit of the stick kind of coming out past your palm a little bit. And there it is. If I don't hold onto the stick and my hands are open, I get that bounce. Now the actual grip itself, my thumb is coming along the side of the stick. I'm not holding it like a fist. My thumb is along the side. Your first finger comes around. That's the actual grip. And then your other three fingers come in for support. So I'm going to do that in both of my hands. Turn my palms so that they're facing the floor. I'm going to hold my arms out in front of me. I'm not going to have my elbows tucked in. They're not super far out like chicken wings. They're just out in front. And this is called home position. Palms are facing the floor. And with this, nice, solid, easy to control single stroke. Okay? Now, like I said, this is called matched grip. Both of my hands are doing the exact same thing. There is another way to hold the stick with your left hand, or your non-dominant hand. If you're right-handed, this would be something for your left hand. This is called traditional grip. Just a different attack in your left hand. But when you're first starting out, traditional grip is kind of its own technique. I don't usually start people off playing traditional. So to keep everything simple and easy, we'll start out playing matched grip. Okay? Now, this exercise is for the metronome. You always, always, always want to practice with a metronome. All of my drum students, I require them all to have one of these. This is my super ancient metronome from college. I almost said nowadays. Now you can, there's metronome apps, you can put them on your phone. I sound impossibly old right now. There's a website that is a metronome. They're not hard to get, and you don't have to get anything super fancy. You just got to have something that'll go click when you turn it on and keep you in time. For example. That's all it does. So I've got this set around 80 beats a minute, something kind of right in the middle, not too fast, not too slow. It's a good starting tempo for something that you're trying to practice and build up. And the exercise that I'm going to do is just cycling through the divisions of the beat. So I'm going to start off with quarter notes, then go to eighth notes, then 16th notes, then 32nd notes, and then I'm going to go back down, 32nds to 16ths to 8ths to quarters. Okay? And you'll notice when I'm playing this, whatever I'm doing with both hands, when I go to the next division of the beat, that pattern goes always to my right hand, and then my left hand picks up the next division of the beat. So in other words, if I'm playing quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, when I go to eighth notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, more. 1, 2, 3, 4. That all goes to my right hand, then my left hand picks up the next division. And that's going to be the same as you go up and you go back down. Okay? So, what that exercise is going to sound like, along with a metronome, it's going to go like this. Starting out with quarters. 1, 2, 3, 4 quarter notes. Eighth notes. Sixteenths. 30 seconds. Sixteenths. Eighths. Quarters. That's it. Okay? So you want to make sure that you're keeping everything even, both in terms of your tempo, but also in terms of volume, of dynamics. You want to make sure that your volume is staying the same, that you're not getting louder as you play faster. In fact, you probably noticed that when I went to 16th notes, I got really low down. The volume kind of, it didn't necessarily go too far down because, you know, the speed takes care of that. But in order to get that speed without getting super, super loud, you got to bring the range of motion of your sticks has to come down as well, and that becomes a little bit smaller. So those are all things to keep in mind when you're doing this. But like I said, this is a great way to warm up. Just get your hands ready to play. You know, if you're getting ready to do a gig or every time you sit down to practice, this is something that it's a really good way to build up your chops, you know, how you know your technical ability. And when you get this under control at whatever speed you start, like 80 for example, just keep on building it up and building it up. And I guarantee you, you're going to see your playing really, really come together and really come up a lot faster than if you always try to barrel in as fast as you possibly can right out of the gate. You're never really going to get better if you're constantly pushing, like right teetering on the edge of not really being able to do it. So always start out at a slow tempo and build that up. I promise you that's going to be the way that your playing really starts to come together. Okay? So there you go. That's it. And we will see you guys later.